Hey everyone, I have a double tiara video this week because these were commissioned by the same people, and so I thought I'd talk about them together. So let's talk about them. So first I was asked to do a tiara that was purple, and so I had been going to the craft store, and actually I saw it online first. I saw this jasper. It was a purple jasper, and it's dyed jasper, but I thought it was beautiful. And so I bought a bunch of beads of it on Etsy and really fell in love with it. And then at the craft store, I noticed they had these kind of bigger pieces like this of this jasper, and in many different colors as well. And so I thought it would make a really cool centerpiece. So you can see these pieces. They're typically like this. They have the holes kind of off in the bottom. I guess you would hang it, of course, but I'm going to use it upside down as a piece because I'm making tiaras and not necklaces. But they have all this variation that I thought was really interesting. And so I bought a bunch of it. And I found this one piece that I really loved. And so I thought, okay, I'm going to start with this. And I had the silver on the front of it. And that's all I had for quite a while. It took me a while to figure out how else I was going to work in more purple, because it felt kind of pink almost with that different colors in that jasper. And so then I went back to the craft store and I found this iron ore bead that I thought was really neat, and it kind of balanced the very filigree nature of all of these pieces with something more natural. And it also balanced these blue and purple dyed crystals. So there's the purple, and then also there was these kind of rock, almost amethyst pieces. So I put these together like that, and then I was like, it still needs something. It needs height. So I added this piece in the back. It's also just wired on to the back. And then it's also glued to the crystal. And then I added these 3 spikes so that you had another layer of height that came on the piece. So this is a purple tiara. And like I said, I wired on the jasper, and then I wired on these pieces here and this piece up here. And they're actually folded over and then wired on. And then I went through and just wired on 2 of these, a large piece of crystal, another ore, and then 3 small crystals, ore, and then the amethyst at the end. And then after I was done with all of that, and I kind of, you can see I like to kink the wire a little bit, so it gives it a little bit more interest, because you're going to see this wire and it gets a little messy, but I like this kind of look of the kinked wire. And then I came back here and I wired on this tall piece right here, and then these 3 pieces. I also glued these for stability since somebody's going to wear this. I felt like it needed a little bit more strength. So these are glued as well as wired on so that they stay in place. And then finally I just added some purple and kind of gray crystals to it. Added the crystal in the back, and that's the piece. It's a pretty simple design. I think it works really well. And then I got asked for a colorful unicorn piece. And this is what I came up with. So I was trying to figure out how to make the horn that it didn't stand out so much that it was really obnoxious, but just enough that you could tell that it was a horn. So it's like a hint. And so what I had these pieces of filigree that were go around crystals, and I thought, oh, that's a perfect horn. So I wired that onto this piece right here, and then I used the same kind of piece on the sides to mimic the design of the centerpiece. And then I added in this straight piece right here, the filigree here. There's a filigree behind, and then there's another filigree on this side. And then these are moons. They're silver moons that go in the back, and they're all wired on, and then glued as well for strength. So you can see they're wired like right here, and there's a little bit of glue. They're wired here, and there's a little bit of glue. They're wired onto bottom as well as to the other piece of filigree, and then just a tiny bit of glue to hold it all to place. And that's what it looked like. So then I added this large crystal, and I like the look of that, and then I added these two smaller ones and added these pieces on here so that you get sparkle when you move it around. You can see the sparkle, but I still felt like it was missing something. Like this had like a little circle right here on the filigree that needed something. So I added this opal piece just right there so that it finished it. And I thought it was done at that point. But this blue is painted with alcohol inks and then sealed. And then the horn is actually a prism from Stuart Semple's line of paints. A friend had gotten that for me, and so it really shines. It's hard to see, but it's a really beautiful piece. So exactly what I did again is I wired the horn to this base first, and then I wired that piece onto this piece of filigree right here, and this piece of filigree went behind it, and then this one went on the top. So these are all wired on, the blues. And then I sealed them again and added a little bit of more detail to them. And then I went through and I wired on the 3 moons on the back right here. And then added all the crystals with epoxy. And there you go. That's the unicorn tiara, take 2. So we got the 2 that are going out this week, the purple and the unicorn. Oops. And I hope everybody likes them. I'll see you guys soon.